Let's make a fun project bag that uses orphan blocks. Sometimes we end up with extra blocks because we either miscounted or made a mistake and had to make our quilt smaller, or it was a practice block. Well, normally they make great pillows, but this time we're going to change it up and make a project bag. If you are a beginner to making bags, this is a perfect place to start. To make a project bag, you will need an orphan block, but of course you can cut out any large square from a fat quarter. A complete fat quarter you can use and have a rectangular project bag, or you can use a layered cake square to go smaller. You get the point. You can really use anything here. Then you will need backing fabric, which I am using again scrap pieces from previous quilt backings and the binding scraps as well. Plus, this is perfect for using leftover batting. Basically, you are going to be using up all of your scraps so nothing goes to waste. Now, the only thing extra you will need is a number 5 zipper tape at the length of your quilt block, plus a little more. And then, of course, you will need a number 5 zipper pull to go with it. Since we are sewing with a zipper, depending on your sewing machine's foot, you may want a zipper foot. Some machines come with this already, but if you do have a smaller 1/4 inch foot, or basically a sewing foot that has a smaller footprint in general, you should be okay. But let's go ahead and get started. First, you are going to make mini quilts. Take your backing fabric, which will be the inside of your bag, and lay it wrong side up, followed by your batting scraps, and lastly, your quilt block. Then you will quilt it however you like. This is also perfect for practicing or doing custom quilting if you want to get a little fancy. Then you will need another piece for the back of your project bag, but special note here, your backing needs to be roughly 2 inches longer, but at least the same width. Why that is because we are going to be attaching the zipper to the quilt block, which will make the bag longer. So we need to account for it. I say roughly 2 inches because if you're using a zipper foot, then you can get up real close to those zipper teeth, which means you will use less fabric. But if you are using a regular sewing foot, then you will need more. So that's kind of like an estimate, a little in between. But go ahead and quilt it out. Here are my blocks quilted, which I'm going to trim my blocks to get rid of the excess, except for the backing. I will trim that up after we attach the zipper. Speaking of the zipper, first we will need to add a binding to the top of our quilt block. You will add this the same way you bind a quilt, and I like to sew the binding on the back first, then flip it over and sew it on the front. Then afterwards, you are going to trim the excess sides off of your binding to square it all up. Next, you'll take your zipper and with the teeth up, lay your quilt block on top of the bottom part of the tape. You can then sew this with or without the zipper pull, and I'm going to add the zipper pull now. If you are using a zipper foot and you are able to get really close to those zipper teeth, on the back side, you will have the zipper tape kind of flappy. You can leave it like so, or you can stitch on top of your binding again, either between or on top of your previous binding stitches, or you can even get fancy and use decorative stitches to hold that piece down. This, of course, is a preference, but afterwards, go ahead and trim the excess zipper tape off. And if you didn't add your zipper pull to your zipper tape, I recommend putting your zipper pull on first, then trimming the excess zipper tape off. Now with our zipper in place, you're going to measure your quilt block. Then you're going to cut your backing mini quilt fabric to the exact same size. Next, lay the top and backing piece on top of each other. Then we're going to create a basting stitch, also known as a stay stitch, 1/8 from the top edge where your zipper teeth are. What a basting stitch and a stay stitch are is basically a longer stitch length just to hold things in place. Afterwards, you're going to square everything up and clip it all together. Once again, do another 1/8 basting stitch all around your project bag. This will help us a lot in the next step as it will keep everything in place so we can lastly add our binding. Then of course you will then add your binding to your project bag like any other quilt and you are done. This project was made with 100% scraps except for the zipper of course. But now we're going to get a little fancier. Here is another quilt block I have already quilted. My quilt block will actually be the inside of my project bag since I will be using a clear vinyl for the top. That way you can see what is inside the bag. You'll create it the exact same way, however, when you are sewing the clear vinyl, I highly recommend lengthening your stitches. I have a Bernina sewing machine and I lengthen my stitches all the way to a 6, which is the largest my machine will go. Now I'm going to attach my binding to the top of the vinyl and then I'm going to fold it over and pull it longer going past the stitch line. You want to go past it because the more needle hole punches you stab into your vinyl, the easier your vinyl will tear with use. And it will kind of tear like if you are pulling lined paper from a spiral notebook. So that's why you're going to want to pull it past your previous stitch line. That way you give yourself some distance. Once you have the binding on the clear vinyl, you will then add it to your zipper and once again add the zipper to that top. Now normally here we will go ahead and trim everything up, but this time since we are working with the vinyl and usually when you buy vinyl it's on a roll so it likes to curl. So what I like to do is to lay it on top and baste 1/8 of an inch at the top. And now that we have something to hold it in place, I will carefully trim the remaining sides. And after I cut one side, I will clip it together with the Wonder clips so that way the vinyl doesn't roll. Then on the other side, and then I'll repeat until everything is squared up. And once it's squared, I'm going to do another 1/8 basting stitch all the way around. That way we can go ahead and attach our binding like normal. However, once again, lengthen your stitches. For the binding, I am using a stitch that is in between a normal stitch length and a basting stitch length. Just something in the middle, but you just basically don't want those needle holes to be really close together. And here is what the clear project bag pouch looks like all complete. These bags are also perfect gifts for kids. If you can whip one up with a clear vinyl, you can add a coloring book or colored pencils, markers, a nice little thing to take with them. Now I use them to stuff my sewing machine supplies in so I can go upstairs and downstairs without carrying a bunch of little sewing items. So I just shove it all in a bag. If you have cross stitch projects or make jewelry, you can toss that stuff in there as well. Either way, you can pretty much find a use for them somewhere. Now I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.